I don't know if this is a guy thing or if it's a brothers thing or if it's just a Cahn brothers thing, but every couple of months in the boys group chat, which consists of myself and my younger brothers Ben and Nate, we one of us will have an idea for an app, and it's never anything serious. Like we're not it, we're, no we're never gonna make an app, but for whatever reason, we always one of us gets really excited about it and pitches it to the other two brothers, and 9 times out of 10 the other two just shit all over it. And I here all right, I need you to be totally just objective with this. Is it objective or subjective? Objective. If you're a fan of me, of Stu, of the podcast, I need you to not be for a second and just listen to my pitch, because I think it's a good idea. It's kind of like Shazam, but it's it's people helping each other out. It's no machines, it's not a program, it's just people. It's for the people by the people. And what you do is, if you have a tune that's stuck in your head, whether it be a guitar solo or a trumpet or the melody of a song, anything, the drums, anything that you have in your head and you need help figuring out what song it is, you upload an audio file of yourself humming or singing whatever you know, and people help you find it. They help you figure it out. It's like having friends there to help you. And perfect example, just I think it was last night, I had this tune stuck in my head that went da 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 da, something like that. Anyway, I found out that it was by I think it was the Four Tops. I'll Be There. I can't remember. But I found the song, and it was because my friend Mike helped me out. He used, I think it was Google Lens, because Mike shat on this idea as well. Him and Ben shat on it. They were both like, this is not, no, who would use this? Why would you use it other than like if you need help finding a song? Like why would other users join this app? And I was thinking that just out of the goodness of people, they would want to help. Like if you told me about this app, I would probably download it and try it out for like 15 minutes. And I think it would be fun. I think this is it's like a thing to do. You're getting your oil changed. You're in line at Disneyland waiting for a ride. You bust out your phone and you scroll through and you're listening to people uploading their audio files of themselves. Like, hey, I need help figuring out this bass line. And then you hear it and you're like, oh, that smells like Teen Spirit. And then you answer it. And then you help the person. And, we can't give money or anything to the people that help out. But if you have like a point system, people love points. They love having like a leaderboard to show off, like, oh, look, I have helped 500 people guess their songs. That kind of shit. So, yeah, Nate actually was kind of on board with it. But Ben and Mike, they just were like, who's going to use that? Why? Which, if you're trying to push an app, that is like the number one thing. Like, why would anyone download this? But listen, if you, again, pretend you don't like me, you don't even know me, and I just pitched that idea, but I did a little better than the way I actually did it. Would you think that was a good idea? I think it would be. I think it would be fun. I think that it would help a lot of people. And there's people out there. There's people out there that would do this. They would just go on and do it. And I would download this. Like I said, I think it would be fun just to pass the time. We're fucking around on our phones anyway. Like, what? I spend so much time on TikTok, and I think if I was actually helping someone out, I would feel a little better about how I was spending my wasted time on TikTok. Like, I'm going to say an hour and a half a day on that app. And yeah, you're not like changing the world by helping people figure out songs, but there's times where I'll get a clip in my head and it is stuck in there, and I'm like, how do I figure this out? Like, I can't Shazam it. I need another person to help. And my buddy Mike, who used Google, I think it was Google Lens, I'm mad that he got it with that clip, because I sent a voice note of myself singing that tune. I'm kind of mad that he got it, that he used the technology, but I don't know. I think people would have fun with it. And yeah, so that's my idea for an app. And I want validation. I want validation. Give me validation. Tell me that it's a good idea. I need you to tell me that this was a great idea and that you would download this app. God, hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. We love you so. Your human buddy Sam and his teddy friend, this is hello. The song's almost over, it's about to end, let's start the show. Be the Kind Solo Podcast. Stu, I gotta say, you look really handsome today. Your posture is just, you look all regal and elegant, and you're looking good, buddy. You're looking good for 75 years old. While we're on the topic of apps, I wanted to share a quick story about an app called Cameo that I'm on. If you don't know what Cameo is, it's you pay internet personalities, famous people, athletes, whoever is on there, and they send you a message. They send a friend a message. You pay $20, and Anthony Hopkins he's probably more than $20. He'll tell your aunt happy birthday or something, and you put a little note like, yeah, it's my aunt's birthday, and she loves to knit. And then the person that does the cameo, they try to make up a little thing for them, and it's really fun. So a couple years ago, I was asked by Cameo to join their app, as I think I'm a TikTok creator. And they asked me to join the app, and I signed up, and you have to make like an introduction video, like, hey, I'm Sam Cahn, I'm a TikTok creator. Oh, thanks. Blah, blah. So my video was pretty much, hey, I don't know why Cameo reached out to me, but here I am. If you like my stuff and you want me to do something, I'll do it. So I didn't advertise it or anything, because like, who the fuck wants that? But after like, I think I did it in like 2021, like I joined, and I almost went the whole year without anyone requesting me. And then someone saw me on Reddit, and they asked me to make a video for their partner. I'm not going to use their names, but this person asked me to make a video for their partner. They're a big fan of mine, and they didn't say like anything, like what to do. So I thought it would be funny to make a video making up scenarios about this person. So I think I did like I was like, hey, this is Sam. I'm not sure what to do, but I'm going to make up 3 scenarios, and hopefully one of them is true about you. So I made a video congratulating her on getting engaged to Nicolas Cage. And then I did that for like a minute. And then I was like, okay, that was video 1. Video 2. And then I made like a get well better video because she got hit by a train. And then, all right, that was video 2. And then the third scenario was that I think she graduated med school. And at the end, I was like, all right, well, thanks a lot. I hope one of these you can use. And they liked it a lot. And then they requested another video, like a follow-up video, maybe a month or 2 later. And he asked to do like a follow-up, and then I ended up doing like I touched on all 3 of them, where I did a video of me at her and Nicolas Cage's wedding, and then I did another one where I was at her hospital, like she was in the hospital bed, and I was like, hey, I hope that you're healing from the train accident. And then the medical one, I think I was in like her doctor's office, and I was like, hey, I'm about to get a checkup, but can you believe it? You're my doctor. It was really silly. But they asked me to do a third one, like 6 months later, another follow-up, and then I think they did a 4th. Anyway, this was all within like a year and a half. And just 2 nights ago, I got a request, and it was it was from them. Mind you, I've only done like 6 cameos, and I think like 4 of the 6 were from this couple. But anyway, he asked for a cameo, and he said that she beat the Harry Potter video game, and he wanted me to roast her. I guess she thinks she's hot shit for it. So I don't know anything about Harry Potter, and I've been trying to think of like what I'm going to do it right after we shoot the podcast, but I wanted to roast her for beating the video game, and I don't know. Well, I'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to hit record, and whatever comes out comes out. But anyway, I posted that on my Instagram, and I mentioned the Harry Potter thing, and I was like, yeah, I don't know anything about Harry Potter. And my buddy Richard messaged me, and he's like, how the fuck do you not know anything about Harry Potter? Like, you're a millennial, you know nothing about Harry Potter? And I don't. Like, I know Harry, and I know Hermione, and Rupert, the redheaded kid, and Dumbledore. I know there's a Dumbledore, and I know there's a Snipe, and a Slytherin, and I almost said Smeagol. That's not right. Snooker, the little game with the little ball that flies around. I know that. I know, and they ride around on their broomsticks, and they have to play to catch the snooker. I know that. But other than that, oh, Hagrid. Hagrid is one of them. You're a wizard, Harry. I think he just died. The other guy just died too. Dumbledore. Dumbledore died. And Hagrid. Hagrid was maybe a year ago. But yeah, so I don't know, like, I don't know. I just know that. I don't know anything else. I don't know if Harry, I know he's a good guy. He's got to be good, right? But oh wait, there's the guy without the nose that they can't look at. I think that's Slytherin. So yeah, I'm going to do my best. We'll see what happens. But it was funny because when Richard said that, he was like, how do you not know what that is? And I said, I'm hey, what's up? Camera shut off. That was for you, Melanie. I know that you like when that happens. So SpongeBob. Yes. No. I didn't get to SpongeBob yet. Richard asked me as a millennial how I didn't know anything about Harry Potter. and we got on to. I told him I'm 37, and I had this weird. I feel like people born in 1986 were we have this weird. It's either you went down this path or you didn't, and if you didn't, you won't ever get onto that path. And what I mean is, when SpongeBob SquarePants came out, I think it was 1999. I was 13. And when I was 13, I grew up on Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead and Rocko's Modern Life. And when I saw the little talking sponge as a 13-year-old, I was like, oh, that's a kiddie show. Why would I watch that? It's for babies. So I missed that. And my younger brothers didn't watch it either because they also watched like Ren and Stimpy and stuff, which they're probably a little too young for that. So was I. But yeah, I didn't get on the SpongeBob train. And there were other things that I didn't get on because I thought like, oh, it's baby stuff. Like, oh, Harry Potter. Like when the books came out, it was like wizard nerd stuff. And I wasn't into that. Like I read the Goosebumps books and I was reading Stephen King and I was better than everybody. But it wasn't a world that I got into. But I didn't get into that kind of that genre. So and then I didn't watch the movies. Like I never got into it. Same with what's that other one? The Rings. Lord of the Rings. I don't know anything about it. I know Smeagol's in it. And Frodo and Sam. Because people call me Samwise. That's the only information I have. I don't know anything else. And that always seems to throw people off. They're like, how did you avoid that? I don't know. I don't really read, and if I didn't read the books, I wouldn't be interested in the movies when they came out. So there you go. I missed that, and so now I have to do this cameo and look like a jackass because I don't know anything. I don't know what to say really, but we'll see what happens. I know last week we said we were going to do the Pantheon or Pantheon, however you pronounce that, but I decided I might do that on the main channel because I didn't want to. I feel like it's going to be a lot of graphics. Like I would want to put pictures for all of the people. So, and then the list, of course. So I didn't think that was going to be a fun episode for the podcast because I try not to do a lot of graphics on here. So I saw this Ask Reddit last night that I thought would be fun because I don't think we've done an Ask Reddit. I think we only do Am I the Asshole? And Ask Reddit is probably the one subreddit that I use the most or that I interact with the most. So I thought we would do that because I interacted with this one last night, and it's what's the most bizarre coincidence you've ever experienced? And I looked at a couple of them, and they were fun enough to talk about. I don't remember which ones that I saw, but I sorted by, what did I sort by? Best. So we're gonna get the cream of the crop here, and go down and hopefully mine. I don't know how mine ranked, but hopefully it's not at the very, very bottom. But yeah, we're gonna do that, and then that's gonna be it. Bye. All right, let me blow this up. I need to get just thicker glasses because I am always zooming in on it. Well, then the computer's kind of far away, so maybe that's it. All right, shut up, Sam. My BFF and I moved from Indiana to Arizona. A friend of ours that lived in a city about an hour north of our hometown in Indiana drove to visit us. In Texas, she called and said she'd picked up a hitchhiker. And we were like, WTF? Why? Don't bring him here. And she was like, he's cool. You'll like him. and we were irritated as hell, but whatever, fine, bring the strange dude. They get to our apartment, and it turns out that we actually know the guy. He was originally from our hometown, and we'd been friends for a while, but had lost touch over the years. The friend had no idea. She'd picked him up in Texas, a complete stranger to her. He had no idea where they were going. No idea that he was going to see people he'd known 2,000 miles away years before. What even are the chances of any of that? It was so wild. Not the asshole. But I would say that, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that is wild. It's also wild that you picked up a hitchhiker, or your friend did. It doesn't say when this was, but I'm hoping that this was a while back. When it was, I don't think that picking up hitchhikers is ever kosher, but years ago, I at least understand, but now I would not understand. I don't think that anyone should be picking up a stranger when we have Ubers and we have AAA at cell phones. You shouldn't be picking up hitchhikers. Is anyone still hitchhiking anyway? Are there really people out there like thumbs out on an interstate, like with their little backpack or their little stick with the handkerchief full of their belongings? Anyway, yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. 2,000 miles away to see somebody that you haven't seen that long. It really is a small world. I'm glad that this turned out the way it did, and wasn't something that we would see on a true crime podcast. All right, next one. Five different friends of mine who was, far as I know, is that right? 5 different friends of mine who, as far as I know, don't know who. As far? Yeah. God damn. 5 different friends of mine who, as far as I know, don't know each other, all recommended the book House of Leaves to me in the space of a week. Then a YouTube channel I watch recommended it. Then I started seeing copies here and there out in the wild. I finally cave and buy the book, and my hometown is mentioned several times, and at one point a dog is killed by it being thrown from the back of a truck. Holy shit. Something I witnessed happen just a few days previously. Also, the whole book is about spooky, supernatural stuff and meta-narrative. Safe to say I was genuinely a little spooked. Holy shit. That's a lot. That is something to see. Wow. I feel like this is one of those things that I'm gonna hear about this House of Leaves. I've never heard of this. I'm gonna see it all the time now. I think this is one of those situations where once you hear about something, it's all over the place, and it was always there, and you just never noticed because you didn't think about it. Like the phenomenon of spotting like red Volkswagen Beetles. Like, now that I bring it up, you're probably, if you're driving right now, you're gonna see one. Imagine look over your right. Do you see that red bug? Ooh. Anyway, I think that's what this could be, where like I'm gonna test this out. I'm gonna see if I hear about this, and I bet I do. And our phones are listening to us anyway, so House of Leaves. I'm probably gonna get recommendations to see this. Let's see what the other people said. All right, this is great PR. Buying it now. It looks like this is quite a popular thing. Buckle up, you're in for a fucking ride. So many great books. Blah blah blah. Yeah, maybe I'll check this out. If it's suggested to me, I'm not gonna read it. Who am I kidding? Did it say if it was a movie? I would watch the movie. It doesn't really say. Okay, moving on. What's the next one? Okay, these are all replies to this. All right, I went to drop off my son at my dad's for a date with my wife. I saw his motorcycle in the garage, and I had an uncomfortable feeling and had the overwhelming urge to roll it into the driveway and set it on fire. A week later, he was dead from a motorcycle crash. Holy shit. I don't think that I've ever had like a... I do get like, all right, I think this is just a thing that comes with overthinking, which I do. And then I'm sure it's a natural thing, but sometimes if I'm kind of like daydreaming, I'll fantasize about like a decision that I made that will, like, almost like Final Destination, like it'll throw into this sequence of events that is going to cause my death or just miss my death. And the other day I did that, and I got down to my car and I was gonna back out of the parking space, and there was a truck that was backing out at the same time. And instead of just being like, oh, just stop and wait for him to go and then I go, I was thinking like, what if that second that I stopped because of this truck, I'm gonna like miss a red light, or I'm gonna do this or that, and it's gonna cause me to get into an accident, or like I'm gonna be driving and the car on the opposite side is gonna lose a wheel and it's gonna like crash through my windshield and kill me. Like, just, it was so stupid. But I do that. I will randomly do that where it's something that I miss by a second, or I go down to my car and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot my keys, and I run back upstairs. I'm like, oh wait, what if this delay, like what if I miss some, I don't know. It's a stupid thing that I do. And obviously I'm alive, so that's cool. It hasn't worked yet, but it sounds like this is something that was in this guy's head, and he's like, I need to burn the motorcycle, and he didn't, because if he did, then he could have blown up, like he could have died, and that would have fucked up his dad. Like, oh, my son came over and he took my motorcycle out and he lit it on fire and he blew up. I don't know why he did it. I'll never know. But then the dad's alive, so that's cool. All right, yeah, that was pretty creepy. That's really sad though. Thinking that you had this chance to save your dad, which you can't do, because then how do you explain that? It's like you burn his motorcycle down and it's like, yeah, I thought you were gonna die. And it's like, well, now you will never know. You listening to this podcast, maybe I prevented your death because you're listening to this instead of doing something else. You're welcome. Or if you die while listening to it, I'm sorry. I apologize. All right. Next one. Okay. I think we're going to do like 2 more of these because there's like 200 comments and I feel like I've been talking too long anyway. All right. My grandmother, I shouldn't be smiling. My grandmother was diagnosed with cancer in 1998 and given 6 months to live. She ended up passing on September 4th, 2001, giving my uncle a week of bereavement. Oh, okay. Know what's going to happen here. He was a scheduled flight attendant for one of the planes that hit the towers. Holy shit. If she gave up her fight that she was supposed to lose, quite literally one day before she did, her son would also no longer be with us. You know, I think that, yeah, we were off during the September 11th week, but there's so many September 11th stories that they're still coming out. They're still being heard. This is a September 11th story as far as I'm concerned. And there's so many, like, who's the guy? Seth MacFarlane, the Family guy. I know he overslept and he missed his flight by like 15 minutes. And this was back in 2001 when, you kind of just, you had to like call your agent, or you had to like call the airport and get a ticket. Like, you couldn't do everything on your phone. So if you like, you couldn't check in or anything. So if you missed it, it's like, well, shit, I'm out of luck. I guess I'll just wait here until I can get a ticket for another flight. And it was probably not going to be anyway. The whole point is, he missed out on being on the planes too. And there's so many stories like this where it's like, wow, it was so close. Like you almost, and it goes back to the motorcycle thing. Like you just missed it. And it's good that the grandma held off for as long as she did, but wow, that is fucking nuts. Like and then when you have these stories, you have the poor person that it's on the other side, that like the person who covered his shift obviously died, and you had people that were covering shifts, or that were like, oh yeah, I went home a day early because I missed my wife so much. And it's like, that's how it happens. So all right, this one looks like a good one. I was wearing a Knott's Berry Farm 5K shirt, and I ran a Knott's Berry Farm 5K, and left the store. This race was like 5 months prior, and this mom and daughter entering the store had on the same shirt. We passed each other in the parking lot and stopped a second to say how cool it was that we had the same shirt on, and talked about the race for a second. As we did, stranger number 4 exited his vehicle to enter the store wearing the same shirt. We all never met before. I'm just kidding. That was me. That was my post. Yeah, that really happened. That was that was so trippy. I had on my Knott's Berry Farm shirt, and this was I was at Best Buy. And I was leaving, and I saw this mom and her little daughter, and I was like, "Oh my God, they have this shirt on." And I was like, and they were like, and it was like, "Well, how'd you do?" "Oh, yeah, I got 3rd place. How'd you do?" "Oh, yeah, the pie was really good." They give you a slice of pie after at the finish line. And yeah, we were talking, and this guy got out of his car and he started walking towards us. I remember he had a different color shirt on, but it was still, because they had blue and white ones, like the blue and white version. And he was walking towards us, and I like stared at him, and I was like, is this guy? No way. Because he wasn't with them. And yeah, he walked up, and I was like, are you kidding me? And he kind of looked like, what? And I was like, and he was like, oh, wow. And then the woman and her daughter, we were all 4 like, what the fuck is going on? And it blew my mind, because this was, like I said, it was 5 months prior. And even if it was like that same day, like even if it was the day of the race, like the odds of us all going to Best Buy at this one time was just, but yeah, the fact that it was months prior, that tripped me out. Like I can't even think of the odds of that. One more. This is the one I saw last night that reminded me of my brother, so we're going to do this one. Okay. When I gave birth to my son and we didn't have a name picked out for a boy, as I believed it was going to be a girl. That actually happened to my youngest brother. The next morning, the house cleaner came in and commented that he had no name. She told me, I love the name Nathaniel. It means a gift from God, and he is a gift from God. I thought nothing of it, just a kind word from a nice worker. My husband arrived an hour later. He tells me, I've been up all night looking for a name online for our son. I think Nathaniel would be nice. It means a gift from God, and my aunt had told you she would pray for us to get pregnant the day before we found out we were pregnant. I may be a non-believer, but I'll take that coincidence as a sign to name my son Nathaniel. So my youngest brother, Nathan, not Nathaniel, I'm named after, my name is Samuel Norman. Samuel was my great-grandpa, and then his son, Norman, was my grandpa. So I'm Samuel Norman. I got that. And then my younger brother, Ben, he is named after my great-uncle, Bernie. They just went with Ben Benjamin. Bernie was Norman's brother. And then Nate, they decided on his name because they were at a movie theater. She was pregnant. And they were getting popcorn, and they saw this group of kids sprint past them. And I don't know what this kid Nate did, but he did something that was cool because all the other kids started swarming around him chanting Nate. So I don't know if he like beat up another kid or if he won a baseball game or like what happened. But my mom and dad watched this whole thing and they looked at each other and they're like, Nate. So my youngest brother Nate was named after fucking random kid at a movie theater who was getting his name chanted. That's Nate. That's how Nate's name came to be. Absolutely nothing special. Just fucking garbage. Trash. Nate, if you're listening, you don't matter. I'm just kidding. Nate's my favorite sibling, I think. I don't think he listens to this. Nate, do you listen to this? Nate, if you listen to this podcast, can you text me right now? Just say, "Hey, I heard your newest episode. It was hilarious. I love you. You're my favorite." Sam, I wanted to tell you, you're my favorite sibling. I think you're the most handsome, the smartest, funniest. That's about it. That's the only things that really matter in life. Text me that, Nate, if you think that. Okay? Love you. Love you, Nate. All right, that's going to be the episode. I talked way too long. I've been talking for an hour now. So I'm not going to pretend I fully understand how the Patreon deleting the tier and then re-uploading it works. But if you got an email or a notification saying, hey, the tier is gone, do you want to renew? And if you did renew, thank you very much. If you didn't renew, also thank you very much for supporting anyway. I couldn't find a direct answer for what happens, but regardless, the only thing that's going to happen is the price will go down. So I can't imagine any of you being like, I don't like that. But if you did, for whatever reason, or you just didn't want to renew, then I understand. But yeah, thank you very much anyway for the support. I'm really bad at mentioning the Spotify, but if you're listening on Spotify, thank you. If you don't listen on Spotify, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It's so weird because the YouTube ones usually have more views or listens or whatever than Spotify. And that's so strange because it's like, what are we doing? We're not doing anything. But we're handsome guys, I guess. But I always assume like there would be more Spotify listeners because that's easier to do. And like, you're washing the dishes or whatever, you're in your car, I feel like it would be easier to listen. I am not the boss of you. You do whatever you want. You could do both. It would be nice if you did both. If you watch us and then you listen to us in your radio, whatever, however you listen to us. But yeah, I always forget to mention the Spotify. So maybe that's why the views are lower on that. But regardless, if you're listening on Spotify, hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate you being members of the community and we love the support. Thank you so much. We love you. So yeah, that's gonna be it for us. I'm gonna get to editing and then we'll pump out another episode next week, baby. 43, I think. I need to eat something. Mr. Stu, is there anything you'd like to add? You lit a motorcycle on fire? You know that's arson, right? Why did you do that? How do you know you prevented his death? Because he's still alive? You can't use that kind of logic, Stuart. That's not how that works. Okay, whatever. Don't pick up Hitchhikers. Ever. I don't think they're out there, but if you ever see someone just with their thumb out on the highway, just keep driving. Maybe call Uber, a taxi. I don't know. I don't know how you can help them, but do not do it yourself, because just don't do that. If you go shopping this weekend and you use a shopping cart, when you're all done with it, you put your groceries in the trunk. Make sure that you put your shopping cart back in the cart return, because that's what it's there for. That's why we have those. And we will see you next week.